Picture this: your team scores, the stadium explodes, players celebrate, you're on your feet, and then, silence. A small TV in a room nobody can see is deciding whether that goal ever happened. That's VAR, and it was supposed to fix football forever. So why does it feel like it broke it instead? The year is 2018. FIFA has a problem. Too many wrong calls, too many controversies, too many goals that shouldn't have stood, and red cards that should never have happened. Referees are human. Humans make mistakes. So FIFA's solution is simple: bring in the machine. Video Assistant Referee. VAR. A system of cameras, screens, and officials in a remote room watching every frame of every match. The promise was this: the most obvious, clear errors would be corrected. Football would finally be fair. Millions of fans heard that promise and believed it. FIFA believed it. Leagues across the world invested tens of millions of pounds to build it. But here's what they didn't tell you. VAR didn't just change the calls. It changed what football actually feels like. And once you understand exactly how it works and why it keeps failing, you'll never watch a match the same way again. Let's start with what VAR is actually supposed to do. According to the official rules, VAR can only intervene in 4 situations: goals, penalty decisions, direct red cards, and mistaken identity. That's it. 4 categories. Sounds simple, right? Here's where it gets complicated. VAR can only overturn a decision if there is a clear and obvious error. 4 words. And those 4 words have caused more arguments in football boardrooms, referee review rooms, and living rooms around the world than anything else in the last decade, because nobody agrees on what clear and obvious actually means. Is a handball clear and obvious if the player's arm is slightly out? Is a foul clear and obvious if the referee was 5 meters away but VAR can see it from 12 different angles? Every week, the answer is different. Every week, the same technology produces a different decision. And the fans are left asking the same question: what is the point? The offside problem. This is the one that drives fans absolutely insane. Modern VAR offside lines are drawn using a system called semi-automated offside technology. Cameras track 29 data points on every player's body. Lines are drawn frame by frame, and a player can be ruled offside if their armpit is 1 centimeter ahead of the last defender. But here's the flaw nobody talks about. The cameras capture frames at 25 to 50 frames per second. The human body is in motion. When VAR freezes that frame, the image might be up to 40 milliseconds off from the exact moment the ball was played. In professional football, at full sprint, a player can move 10 to 15 centimeters in 40 milliseconds. In other words, the technology that is supposed to give us millimeter-perfect precision has a built-in margin of error that is larger than the decisions it's trying to measure. Then there is the time problem. The moment a goal is scored, the crowd erupts. Players sprint to celebrate. Children jump from their seats. Elderly supporters grab their hearts in joy. And then it all stops. Everyone waits. On average, a VAR check takes 2 minutes and 20 seconds. The longest on record, over 9 minutes. 9 minutes of standing in a stadium with no idea what is happening. That pause doesn't just delay the result. It kills the feeling entirely. Studies from sports psychologists found that goals checked by VAR generate 25% less fan emotion than goals that stood immediately. Football isn't just a sport. It's an emotion. And VAR is slowly draining it out. And the handball rule. Nobody, not the players, not the coaches, not even the referees, can consistently explain what is and isn't a handball anymore. The rule has been rewritten 6 times since VAR was introduced. In 6 years, the ball hits a defender's arm that is 3 centimeters from their body. Is it a penalty? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Sometimes VAR reviews it, sometimes it doesn't. The inconsistency is not a bug in the system. It is the system. Here is what makes this entire story even darker. The statistics don't actually prove VAR is making football more fair. A report from the University of Groningen analyzed 800 VAR-era matches across 6 leagues. They're finding, while VAR does correct some decisions, it also introduces new inconsistencies at the same rate. In plain terms, for every error VAR fixes, a different type of error appears. The net accuracy improvement across all leagues? Less than 1.5%. 1.5%. For all of that disruption, for all of those celebrations cut short, for all of those moments stolen from supporters. 1.5%. And here's the final irony. The leagues that have tried to remove or limit VAR, the Eredivisie experimented with turning it off for part of a season, reported something extraordinary. Attendance went up, fan satisfaction scores went up, TV ratings went up. Football without VAR was more enjoyable to watch, even if it was slightly less accurate. Because it turned out football fans didn't want perfection. They wanted to feel something. So where does that leave us? VAR is not going anywhere. It's too embedded, too expensive, too politically connected to the people who introduced it to be abandoned. But there are changes being proposed right now. The semi-automated offside system is being updated to increase timing accuracy. Some leagues are testing a challenges system where managers can appeal a maximum of 2 decisions per game, similar to tennis or cricket. Others are building a real-time communication line between the VAR room and stadium announcements, so at least supporters know what's being reviewed and why. Will any of it be enough? Honestly, probably not. Because the fundamental problem with VAR was never the technology. The fundamental problem was a promise that could never be kept. Football told its fans, "We will give you certainty." But football was never about certainty. It was about chaos, passion, and the beautiful feeling that anything could happen. VAR tried to take that uncertainty and eliminate it. But football's uncertainty isn't a flaw. It's the entire point. They said VAR would fix football. They were wrong. Not because the technology doesn't work, but because football was never broken in the first place. The goal that made you fall in love with this sport, the one you still remember, years later, exactly where you were when it went in, that goal was never about whether the striker's armpit was onside. It was about the feeling. And no camera in the world can measure that. What do you think? Has VAR improved the game or ruined it? Drop your answer below. I genuinely want to know. And if you felt something watching this video, subscribe. There are stories in football that nobody is telling properly. We're here to tell them.